keep bringing me back. They keep bringing me back. Right when I think I'm out, they drag me back in again. All I wanted to do with this series was complain about a lack of pauper support. All I wanted to do was say, hey, maybe we should reprint Fetch Lands, which Scalding Tarns are now about $100 each, but they keep dragging me back. Blah, 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 blah. Mistakes happen. Yesterday, the War of the Spark Mythic Edition went on sale on eBay at 3 p.m. at the price of $249.99 each. In less than 6 minutes, they were sold out. 12,000 copies in total were sold, meaning that in less than 6 minutes, Wizards of the Coast brought their Hasbro overlords $2,999,880 in sales. Unfortunately, those sales were not as neat and simple as all that. As was the case in the past, many customers experienced problems being able to successfully check out, with everything from server stalls to error messages holding them up as they tried to buy this product, only to find out it had sold out by the time their browsers had refreshed. Or had it, because although 12,000 units were sold, at one point, eBay correctly or incorrectly displayed numbers above 40,000 units sold, which was then taken down with a new listing placed showing 5,000 units available. By the way, those 5,000s on the relisting was not made available to people who had attempted to buy, had their orders canceled, anything like that. It was just thrown out there. People continued to scramble during all of this to buy this product, and many thought that they did. But mistakes happen, and soon many Magic the Gathering players who had successfully purchased the Mythic Edition had those orders canceled. After enormous confusion and delay, eBay released the following statement on this. Attached to the message, Wizards Magic fans, we unfortunately sold out of the War of the Spark Mythic Edition exclusive earlier today. We are working to ensure all subsequent orders are canceled and refunded. Any direct inquiries, please reach out to us. And attached to this was the message, Wizards of the Coast offered a limited quantity of 12,000 of the Magic the Gathering War of the Spark Mythic Edition on Hasbro's eBay store earlier today at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. The set has sold out, and all customers of the 12,000 orders will have their orders fulfilled. Any subsequent orders will be canceled and buyers will be refunded. We apologize for the inconvenience. This was followed up by Wizards of the Coast officially stating, due to overwhelming response, we sold out of the War of the Spark Mythic Edition orders earlier today. We've partnered with eBay to ensure affected customers are contacted. And that's it. There's a lot to unpack here, least of which is that this foray into exclusively selling products online, specifically the Mythic Edition, has had problems, frustrations, and huge mistakes each and every time now. Least of all that at what is quite arguably the height of Magic the Gathering popularity, Wizards of the Coast continues to do this Mythic Edition cash grab, which serves only to anger and disenfranchise players. That is the result when customers aren't even able to bring up the listing while it is still in stock, or successfully check out and purchase it if they do so. Even then, many, and by the way, when I say many, I don't mean like, oh, there were 10 or 12. We're talking about in the tens of thousands, if not more, of customers who are getting their successfully placed and paid for orders canceled and refunded. What result does that have? Those remaining don't even know if their order will in fact be successful. We see frustration and uncertainty in the customer base. But hey, mistakes happen. What then should Wizards of the Coast do? Well, mistakes happen, so apologize. Back when we were at the height of the cardboard crisis, my biggest issue with Wizards of the Coast was not that they couldn't fix the problem fast enough, but that they would not even acknowledge it, let alone apologize. In that situation, I felt the far worse hit Wizards took was not people being aware that the cardboard quality was bad, but that the company didn't know, or worse, just didn't care. This was the perception that the player base largely had because they would not talk about it and they would not apologize for it. That's the same here. And these sorts of incidents add up. Keep in mind, this is exactly what has happened before with previous Mythic Edition sets. When you don't apologize, people feel like you don't care. This is true in just real life, but also with companies, especially with a company such as Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast strives to be more than just a company. They work to have an active role and a positive relationship with their player base. If so, then the best thing they can do to foster such a relationship is to suck it up. I know, it's hard. Do what you need to do. Take that ego hit. It's embarrassing, I know, and admit that you messed up and say you are sorry. And yes, you can go on about how maybe this time it was eBay's fault, not theirs, although eBay, interestingly enough in that statement, seemed to be indicating it was crazy for Wizards to have such a low run of product for such high demand. I noticed they pointed that out subtly. But in the end, the buck stops with you. You making sure that safeguards are in place to ensure that these problems don't happen again, yet they have happened again. The relationship that you have with your player base, Wizards of the Coast, is important. You don't want to turn into Games Workshop or EA, do you? Where the people who play your game actively distrust and feel antagonistic towards you? Be human, take responsibility, and say you are sorry. Mistakes happen. Make it right. Now here's where I will give Wizards of the Coast an incredible amount of praise. The last time this sort of thing happened, literally with the Mythic Edition sales through the Hasbro Toy Shop, they made right on it as best they could, and I thought it was possibly the classiest thing the company has ever done. Without expectation, without demand or prompting, Wizards of the Coast sent everyone affected a complimentary Ultimate Masters box topper as a consolation for their terrible website and overall bad customer experience. Now, this is not as good as a restitution of figuring out how to sell each and every one of those customers what they initially wanted to buy and with ease, but I was impressed nonetheless with the gesture, and I think it was the best thing they could have done PR-wise, short of, actually providing the product to the people who wanted to buy it. The problem is that, whereas that was unprecedented, now we have precedent. Modern Horizons is coming up. Will that set have box toppers? Gee, I hope so, since I loved the idea of box toppers and wanted to see them continue. Quite frankly, I wanted to see it in all booster box products, but that's another discussion. Let's say for a moment that Modern Horizons has box toppers akin to Ultimate Masters. Due to this mess up, this mythic mess up, there is an expectation on the community's part that Wizards will mail out apology toppers to everyone affected. If they don't, that'll be an additional PR hit, because people will say, hey, you did that last time, why not this time? And so there will be further disappointment and mistrust. But if they do, it's not going to have as positive of an effect as it did last time. Why not? Well, because Magic the Gathering in many ways is like drugs. No, wait, actually it's like gambling. It's like gambling with drugs. So even if they do send all 30,000 affected people a box topper, which I feel is the least they could do, along with, of course, a sincere mea culpa, this will feel more akin to standard procedure as opposed to unexpected rectification. So could Wizards of the Coast hold an emergency meeting to determine whether or not they can emergency contract one of their printers to print up 30,000 more Mythic editions within the next few months and then sell those to specifically the 30,000 affected people? Probably not. I don't know. I doubt that's realistic. But maybe those 30,000 could get a free Jace the Mind Sculptor in the mail? Yeah, you heard me. Send them all a free Jace the Mind Sculptor. Why not? I mean, What if I told you that sending those 30,000 a free basic island would completely rectify the situation? They'd all be happy, they'd all be thankful, they'd all pat Wizards of the Coast on the back, say it's the best company ever, mistakes happen, but they made right on it. You'd say, do that, right? Well, Jace the Mind Sculptor is printed on the exact same thing and at the exact same cost as a basic island. So either way, I think that an effort to make this right in a generous and fair way is needed. Mistakes happen. Don't let them happen again. This is actually it happening again. How did we get here? There should have been extreme effort made to ensure that no matter what could go wrong, that literally this exact situation is not what would go wrong. Obviously, no one at corporate would want this to happen, but it did happen already, before. And why has it been allowed to happen again? Maybe Wizards of the Coast is realizing that a global system of direct distribution on a premium product just isn't as easy to provide fairly and equally to their player base as they thought. Maybe this is why, over the last 25 years, a global method of selling product through local game stores was used. Maybe cutting those local game stores out of the equation for this and possibly future products isn't as easy as was thought. And while it might result in a cool 3 million in 6 minutes, could be damaging to your brand and player relations irreparably. Which brings me to, mistakes happen, so don't cut out local game stores. No one says Wizards of the Coast can't or shouldn't do direct sales, but exclusive sales, especially of premium products, just to cut out local game stores is not a successful route. You know, one of the things I've heard used as an excuse for offering online-only exclusive sales like this is that when premium products were sold through local game stores, some stores, in fact, let's be fair, most stores would raise prices above the MSRP that Wizards of the Coast suggested. But those products were often sent in extremely scarce supply. A store would get 5 to at maximum 10 from the vaults, and they would have how many hundreds, if not thousands, of players and potential customers wanting them? The famous Commander's Arsenal, most stores got only 1 copy of. I think the max was 3. So yeah, those local game stores raised prices and customers felt bad. But if Wizards of the Coast really was worried about the feel-bads of their $40 MSRP from the vault getting marked up to $100, printing more of them and offering more of them would likely negate that heavily. Instead, they just put worse cards into decreased demand, but that's another Tolarian wins. I don't think Wizards selling this product exclusively through the internet is truly a response to bad feels about markups on premium products at local game stores. I think it is envious feels on Wizards' part about the profits made on the secondary market, and it's their attempt, a poorly, disaster-prone attempt, to see how they can have their cake and eat it too. Profit off of both their regular sales and the secondary market, essentially, all while cutting out local game stores. The best solution, to me, seems clear. As I've already said, apologize, make it right, and don't let it happen again. And the best way to not let it happen again is to give local game stores the option of carrying this product as they would any product, in the same way we would stock a Commander Precon or Challenger deck or booster boxes themselves. You can also concurrently sell the Mythic editions online through eBay, which will help ensure stores don't gouge. After all, if these are on eBay for $249.99 and your store is charging $500, then people will just buy it on eBay. So this helps set the price. Why buy it in your local game store when you can on eBay? Because that means you can get it right away. Don't have a local game store? eBay. Everybody wins. Maybe that $3 million in profits will be less, but customer satisfaction and the larger ecosystem, the long-term sustainability of Magic the Gathering, which includes those vital, and often shafted local game stores will thrive, which is worth that investment. As we are now, the exact same fervor and anger that was present at stores selling from the vault above MSRP is present here, directed with more fervor and anger at Wizards of the Coast. The Mythic Edition is already on the secondary market for $500 a box, double MSRP, and sold by people who just happened to be able to get in through that system in those 5 minutes, buy it, and then immediately relist it for sale. And so is that 2.8 million worth it? In my evaluation, it is not. But now I want to hear from you. I have a different question than usual this time. I usually end by asking your thoughts on this issue, and please give them because they are welcome and help the larger discussion. But the professor has a unique question for you, and that question is this. If I gave you $249.99 to spend only at your local game store, and you had to spend it only there, what would you buy with it? Singles, packs, boxes, accessories, 2.5 scalding tarns? I'm curious what people would pursue and go after and why. So let me know in the comments below.